Hi, welcome back to Phoenixdreams. A slight change in plans. I had communicated to you that I will be sharing two videos with you with two successful ladies. But on second thoughts, what I thought was it will be great if I completed Having a Purpose Part 2 first, because that way it will make it easier for me and for you to really assimilate what I'm trying to tell you through having a purpose, and it'll also be easier for you to connect with what these two ladies have to say, tying in their purpose with their success. So let's just do this first, and then sometime next week I'll bring those ladies to you. Right. So with continuing with what I was saying about having a purpose, I would today I would today like to share a story with you. Now this story is about really is beautiful in the sense that it connects the two aspects that I've been talking about in the past few videos. Having a purpose, one, and two, about women and successful women. So this story that I'm going to share with you is about a lady called Wilma Rudolph. You can Google her. Now, a very unique story, inspirational to the core. Let me tell you about Wilma. Wilma was a black American girl born in the 1930s in very racist USA. Now, Wilma was born in poverty from a black American family. Like I said, she was born in poverty. She was the 20th of 22 siblings in a poverty-stricken family. So not much care, attention, not much medical aid. So she contracted infantile paralysis caused by the polio virus at the age of 2.5. She was nursed back to health, but didn't really fully recover. So she lost strength in her legs. So wasn't really very good in moving around, and she had to use these braces that polio affected individuals use. She had to move around to walk, to be able to get from one place to another. She had to use these leg braces. So that's how life went on for Wilma. Now, there was one thing that Wilma realized at a very, very young age, and that was the fact that there was one thing that she really, really loved doing, and this was to run. So Wilma never went from one place to another walking. In spite of her braces and her awkward movement, she always ran from one place to another because she simply loved doing that, running. So whenever in a school or in her community, whenever there used to be any sports competitions, athletics meets, she always wanted to take part. So she used to seek out whoever was organizing the event and ask them permission to participate. And they let her, knowing that it doesn't really make a difference, let her participate if she wants to. So they let her participate, and Wilma participated in each and every race that she ran, and she came last in all of them. She ran, she participated, she came last. But one thing Wilma didn't stop doing was taking part. She did participate. She participated in each and every race that she could come around, experience, and she came last. Now, because of this constant use of her feet, of her legs, and keeping on running, because of the normal constant exercise, some strength returned to her legs, and the braces went off. So Wilma could now move around without the braces, and the running continued. So Wilma kept on participating in races. She kept on losing, coming last, and then this went on for quite some time. But as she kept on doing this, she got better at it. She got better in her speed, she got better in her strength, she got better in her abilities, she got better in her determination and willpower. So ultimately there came a day when Wilma was able to beat one girl. She didn't come last anymore, she finished second last. And then this went on. The willpower, the determination, the guts, the courage went on and on and on, and she was slowly, gradually able to beat two girls. Again, as this continued over the next few months and years, she gained places in these races. She kept on moving up places. Ultimately, she came third. She was a bronze medalist in the so-called school racing athletics meets. Ultimately, she began to come second. And there eventually came a time in Wilma Rudolph's life that she began to win races in her school, which is in itself a tremendous achievement. Now, I'll take a pause here, and I won't tell you what happened in the next few years. I want you to reflect on one thing and ask yourself a question that I'm asking you. If you Google Wilma Rudolph, and I insist you should to not just depend on my small video to understand her. I insist you Google Google Wilma Rudolph and understand what I'm talking about. So if you do Google Wilma Rudolph, normally when you Google somebody, you get a pic of that person and a short biography at the side. So what do you think you're going to get when you Google Wilma Rudolph? So the question I'm asking you is, what do you think is Wilma Rudolph's biggest achievement in life, for which she's known for? You might say the same things that I've said: willpower, guts, determination, inspiration. Yeah, all that is true. But there is one specific thing for which Wilma Rudolph is a legendary personality. And that is, if do what I say, Google it, what you'll find out, the first thing that Google mentions about Wilma Rudolph is that in the 1960, mark my words, in the 1960 Rome Olympics, Wilma Rudolph won not one, not two, but 3 Olympic gold medals. In the 100-meter dash, the 200 meters, and in the 4x100 meter relay. Now let this sink in. We're talking about a person here whose core strength in her legs was her weakness in life. In the same person we're talking about goes on to become an Olympic champion. Not just an Olympic champion. The time when she won those gold medals in the 100-meter dash was the fastest time ever recorded for a woman in the history of the games. It was an Olympic and world record. So here we have a girl who at the age of 2.5 suffered from infantile paralysis in her legs. She couldn't walk without braces. Goes on to not just win races in a school or in her village or a city or a town or a state or a country. She goes on to become a world record holding Olympic gold medalist. Now there is simply one reason for this, because it was crystal clear to Wilma in a very young mind, at a very early stage in her life, what her purpose in life was. And her purpose in life wasn't to win an Olympic gold medal. Her purpose in life wasn't to beat anybody else on track and field. Her simple purpose in life, what she realized, was just one. Her purpose in life was to run. And run she did. And because it was her purpose in life, like I mentioned in my last video, it was what she was meant to do. She was so good at it that she became a world champion, a world record holder, an Olympic champion, because she's simply just good at it, because she's meant to do it. So that's the thing I'm trying to say, is that you need to understand and discover what your purpose is. Once you discover that, you will automatically do it so well that you will be able to be the best. Now, one more thing to note over here about Wilma Rudolph is that she was a woman. She was a black American woman in a, like I mentioned earlier, a very racist period in time in the United States history. So just imagine what she must have gone through during that journey. Do you think she was encouraged? Do you think people gave her a hand? Not really. Imagine the number of times that Wilma must have fallen down while attempting those races in which she was coming last. The number of times she must have scraped her knees. The number of times she must have bled. The number of times people must have pointed fingers at her and laughed at her. But did she let any of these things discourage her? No, she just picked herself up, dusted off her clothes and got back to doing what she was best at. Got back to doing what she was meant to do. She ran. And she ran so well that she became the best. In spite of all the humiliation she must have had, the physical and the more importantly, the psychological trauma that she must have gone through, she kept at it. Why? Because she knew this is what she was made for. She knew her purpose in life. So that's what I want to tell you, is that you need to introspect, try and understand who you are and what you're made for, what you're meant for. And as we continue with my next videos on the channel, we'll see that these two women we're going to talk to are exactly doing that in the course of their successful journey. And it's still a journey. It's not complete, because they still have a lot more to achieve, and I'm sure, knowing them well, they will definitely get there one day. So stay focused, understand what your purpose is, stay disciplined to it, stay sincere to it. And if you like what you're watching, like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Cheers.